So, in today's competitive world, what's the one thing that can really give a company a strategic edge? It's not just about profits or products anymore. It's about people. More specifically, it's about their energy, their well-being, and ultimately their performance. So let's dive into this and explore a really fascinating and crucial new role, the Chief Happiness Officer. Just how important has this all become? Well, take a look at this number. A huge 88% of workers now say that well-being support is a key factor when they're picking an employer. Think about that. This isn't just some nice-to-have perk anymore. It's a core expectation. For a lot of people, this is the absolute deal breaker when it comes to attracting and keeping the best talent. But here's the catch. Even though the demand for well-being is at an all-time high, the reality inside many companies tells a totally different story. The truth is, we're facing a serious and, frankly, a growing well-being crisis in the modern workplace. And if you look at the numbers, they're pretty eye-opening. We're talking about burnout affecting more than 20% of the entire workforce. And for the younger generations, Gen Z and millennials, a full half of them report feeling under constant stress. These aren't just stats on a chart. This is a massive drain on the human energy that companies need to innovate and succeed. So, with a challenge this big, how are smart companies responding? Well, they're being strategic about it. And this is where the Chief Happiness Officer, or CHO, enters the picture. Not as some quick fix, but as a core part of the strategic solution. The whole point of the CHO is to build an entire ecosystem, a culture, where people don't just clock in and do their job. It's about creating an environment where they can actually flourish. Because when people flourish, you get real engagement, deep motivation, and the kind of resilience that can weather any storm. Okay, so what is this role, really? At its heart, a Chief Happiness Officer is a guardian of the organization's energy. Just let that sink in for a second. We're talking about the collective emotional, cognitive, and physical energy that powers the entire business. Their job is to protect it, to manage it, and to help it grow. And it's so important to be clear about what this role is not. A CHO is not the company entertainer. Their job isn't about planning parties or ordering pizza. This is a strategic role, focused on the deep, underlying factors that create a positive, high-performing culture. It goes way beyond just surface-level perks. It's about substance, not just style. So how does a CHO actually do all this? Well, it's not just guesswork. The whole approach is grounded in science, specifically in positive psychology. That gives their work a really solid, evidence-based foundation. This is all about a holistic, and this part's key, an intentional approach to building well-being. It's about thoughtfully designing systems and daily practices that are based on principles we know actually work. It's a complete strategy, not just a random checklist of initiatives. And that strategy rests on 4 key pillars. First up is us. This is all about building a strong community, because we know from the science that positive relationships are a huge driver of happiness. Next is positive chemistry. This means actively generating positive emotions through things like gratitude and mindfulness, which can literally change our brains for the better. The third pillar is discipline, which is all about building resilience and teaching people to treat their own energy like the precious resource it is. And finally, being. This one's about connecting the day-to-day work to a bigger shared purpose, so everyone understands the why behind what they do. Okay, that's the what, but how do you actually make it happen? Well, a great CHO follows a very clear, practical roadmap to turn all this theory into reality. This 5-step process is basically their playbook. Step 1, you start with data. You map the energy levels in the organization to see where you're really at. Step 2, you roll out programs based on that positive psychology we talked about to build skills like gratitude and focus. Step 3, and this is a huge one, you train managers to be positive leaders who know how to give good feedback. Then step 4, you put real policies in place for regeneration, like the right to disconnect. And finally, step 5, you communicate that purpose over and over, making sure everyone sees how their work fits into the big picture. Now, all of this sounds fantastic for the employees, right? But what about the business itself? Let's talk about the tangible payoff, because this is where well-being stops being a cost and becomes a powerful competitive advantage. Let's get to the bottom line. Companies that really invest in this kind of holistic well-being see productivity go up by as much as 20%. That is a direct, measurable impact on performance. It's proof that happy, energized people are, in fact, highly productive people. And that's exactly why this isn't just an HR initiative anymore. It becomes what you see right here, a core competitive strategy. It has the power to directly influence your performance, how attractive you are to top talent, and the very culture of your company. So, to wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to think about for your own workplace. Does your organization have someone, whether they have the official title or not, who is intentionally looking after your people's energy? And if the answer is no, what might be the hidden cost? This explainer was based on insights and data from La Repubblica, Frontiers in Psychology, and the European house Ombra Seti, with re-elaboration by the team at Happywise. Thanks so much for watching.